And hello once more, ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls. Welcome to episode 79 of A Druid's Dozen. My name's John, I am the Rock Druid, and I'm a bit of a radio DJ. I've got a couple of radio shows. There's the Sunday Rock Show, BCFM Radio, 93.2 FM, Bristol, UK, and the Rock Druid Show on astroradio.earth, which is international. And links where you can find the both shows down there, over there, you know the score, and check them out if you want to hear some great music. Now, this is just me killing a bit of time on a Saturday afternoon, raiding my quite substantial record collection and waving some items in front of you. Today we're going to be looking at some 12-inch picture discs. Now, picture discs have got a quite a long and interesting history. When I was doing some research for this, I actually found out that picture discs have been around since the 1930s and 1940s, although they were normally kind of rare promotional items or special one-off editions. The first album to be picture disced, as far as I could ascertain, was Curved Air's second album in 1974, I think it was, a general release, and then yeah, throughout the 70s they got dripped out, but then come the 1980s, when competition, especially for singles, became a bit cutthroat, record companies decided to release multiple formats, and basically you'll release a single, you'll get the standard 7-inch single, but then you'll get the double pack, you'll get the 7-inch picture disc, the 12-inch picture disc, the poster sleeve edition. The last week on, we're looking at 7-inch singles, a wasp single, well, they had a wasp single with a pack of fake blood attached to it, or a UFO single with a jacket patch on it. But anyway, a lot of these kind of rare editions ended up in independent record shops, and you know, and I used to go to one in Bristol called Disc and Tape. Now long since gone, but sadly missed, up on Gloucester Road in Bristol, and they always used to have large amounts of rare promotional formats in there. They'll normally give them free by the record companies, because if they sell it there, then extra sale, and you know, in my opinion, everyone was a winner. The band that you like's got an extra couple of sales, because sometimes, you know, you'll buy the proper single and the limited edition one, then you'll get the local independent record shop will get a bit more income, and you as a collector ended up with something quite rare. Because some of these you're going to see today, they go for substantial money these days, although I never paid anything like the current value for them. But some of, and also with picture discs, they're an interesting way into record collecting, because you know, although some of them are silly money prices, not showing anything today that's very silly, but got a few around the 50 quid mark. Some of them you can still pick, look very nice, and you can still pick them up for under a tenner. So yeah, without further ado, let's start, shall we? Now, this is a band I got a fair number by, Iron Maiden, and today we're just going to have a look at this one. This is Be Quick and Be Dead, 1992. I think, correct me in the comments if I'm wrong, I think this was off the Fear of the Dark album. Not my favourite Maiden album, so not one I play that often, so I'm not sure. But it does say, see Maiden at Castle Donington, August 22nd, 1992 at the back. Anyway, there's the front, including the front of the disc. There's the back of the card sleeve that a lot of these came with. If I slide this out, not much to see there, that's just there. And here's the disc itself. There we are. I love picture discs. These things are works of art in my opinion. They're practical, and they just look great. There's the front. Derek Riggs artwork, of course. Is it Derek Riggs? I'm not sure. Again, let me know in the comments. Eddie throttling the businessman. There's Maiden themselves lined up against the wall on the backside. And the thing is, one of the things they tell you about, you know, sort of band publicity 101. Never shove a picture of your band lined up against the brick wall. And what do Maiden do? Line up against the brick wall. But anyway, that's a little aside. Yeah, Be Quick or Be Dead with a typical Iron Maiden, couple of novelty tracks on the B-side. Well, novelty, there's Nodding Donkey Blues, which I can't remember. But Space Station number 5, the Montrose number, which they do something rather silly with at the end. But, you know, you can have to give that a listen and have a listen for yourself. I don't want to spoil the surprise. Anyway, don't know where it got to in the charts. Probably kind of minor hit, knowing Maiden around about this period. Pretty good track. One of the better tracks off Fear of the Dark. Like I said, Fear of the Dark's not my favourite Maiden album by a long, long shot. But yeah, this is one of the better tracks off it. I'll check the kind of going rate for this on various collectors' sites before I started filming. And anywhere between 25 to 50 quid. So not bad considering I paid about £2 for it when it came out. So an investment. Yeah, my mum used to complain when I lived at home before I left home. My mum used to complain about me wasting my money on buying records. And then when you sort of, then I've told her, she watches these videos now, and when she sees how the price of some of these things have gone up, after 40 odd years, she no longer complains. Anyway, Iron Maiden, Be Quick or Be Dead. Our first victim of the day. And we're going to stay Maiden or Maiden related. Now, this one isn't really a 12-inch picture disc. This should have come out when I did a few months ago when I did my Shaped discs roundup, but it got missed. Anyway, there's the front. I'll whip it out so you can have a proper look at it in a minute. There's the front. This is Nicko McBrain, Rhythm of the Beast, solo single. There is the back. Pull this out, which I've never used. You've got a fold-out plinth to display your single on, should you want to. You know, there's the full thing at the back with Drum Workshop tour dates. Whip this out. There's the front. Old Nicko behind his kit. There's the back. Now, this came out, Nicko McBrain, when was this? 1991 this was released. Now, I always rated Nicko McBrain as probably Iron Maiden's best asset. You know, not knocking Maiden as a band, because, you know, they're talented musicians, but I always thought the best part about, actually I'll hold this out here, because it's, so you can have a look at it while I'm chatting. Yeah, always thought Nicko McBrain, the drummer, Maiden's best asset. You know, very, very good drummer, very influential, and a very kind of intelligent drummer. You know, he's not a mauler, very sympathetic to music kind of thing. And basically, back in 1990, 1991, he made a instructional DVD. Play drums like, I can't remember what it was called, but it was, yeah, basically Nicko McBrain teaching how to play drums. He did a tour to promote it at drum workshops, and to promote the tour, at the end of the video, and I've not seen the video, not being a drummer, I have brains, but not seen the video, but at the end apparently he uses all the techniques that he goes through in the instructional video in a big kind of jam with Steve Harris is on bass, and I can't remember who else is playing with him, but anyway, big kind of jam, and the piece is called Rhythm of the Beast, and it's a kind of almost like a swing rock and roll number, big horn section in it as well, and it's about 7 minutes long, and it's quite a cracking little track. Anyway, that's what this single is. This is the Shaped disc version. Probably the most rarest thing I'm going to show you today. In mint condition, which this is getting on there. I have played it a couple of times, but I've got it on 7-inch to protect this, so this doesn't get played anymore. Again, various sites, you're looking at about 50 notes plus. So not that this is going to be for sale. Again, I paid a couple of quid for it when it came out, and yeah, I do like it. Nicko McBrain, Rhythm of the Beast, shaped disc, but you know what I mean. Okay, next up, one that's not quite as collectible, but in my opinion, a corking track. No carnival sleeve behind this, it's just a thing. This is Thin Lizzy, Dedication. 12-inch disc. Title track from a kind of greatest hits tribute compilation, came out a few years after Phil Lynnott's death. There's, I'll take it out because there's not much to look at, obviously, apart from the dog-eared sleeve. Anyway, there's the front. There's the back. This is the 4-tracker, 12-inch, Dedication, Cold Sweat, Chinatown, Bad Reputation. Now, the track Dedication itself is an interesting idea. When Phil Lynott died, someone, I can't remember who, discovered a load of demo tapes and bits and pieces that he'd been mucking around together, because sadly, yeah, it's since transpired that, okay, Lizzy had broken up in '83, but the breakup wasn't ever intended to be permanent. It was meant to be a kind of like hiatus. Phil Lynott wanted to do some solo shit and do the Grand Slam stuff for a bit, but yeah, there was always the long-term prospects of Lizzy getting back together, and but sadly it didn't come because of Lynott died. But Lynott was beginning to write material for Lizzy, and Dedication, which I think Grand Slam also played live, was found kind of just basically a very basic Phil Lynott with a drum machine and a bass, multi-track, 4-track recording, on a cassette, knocking around in his house. Scott Gore and Brian Downey got their hands on it, and with permission of Phil Lynnott's estate, overdubbed and tidied the recordings up, overdubbed the guitar and drums on it, turned it into the last ever Thin Lizzy song, and it's a corker. One of the later period Lizzy's best tracks, in my opinion, and I'm gutted that it never got the full Lizzy workout, because it was a cracking track, especially live. But we still got it on this Dedication kind of reconstructed format, and it's so pretty sweet. The rest of the tracks, like Cold Sweat, Chinatown, Bad Reputation, all Lizzy standards, should need no introduction. But overall, yeah, a bit of a gem. Value wise, this one goes for about 15-20 quid. So again, none of these I paid more than release prices for. So and again, quid's in. But yeah, interesting one. I'll get this back in its house. Okay, next up, band. A track from a band that I was beginning to lose interest in by the time this came out. This is Meridian. Sympathy, which I think is off the originally from the Holidays in Eden album. Yeah, there's the house it lives in, there and there. Here's the disc itself. There's the front. There's the back. Yeah, I think it is Holidays in Eden. This was taken from originally. Yeah, Steve Hogarth, early Steve Hogarth era Marillion. Not really a period. This, and I'll say it was the Holidays in Eden album that began to make me doubt whether I really like Marillion anymore. I'm a huge fan of the Fish era. Find Steve Hogarth's vocals to this day a little bit simpering and a bit whiny, but yeah, that's my personal taste. The band is still knocking out some pretty cool stuff. It's just that it's not my bag anymore. Me and Meridian have divorced. Although the last couple of albums they've done, we can prove that we can possibly be friends again, providing I overlook certain aspects of their past. The Likely Strange Engine and Afraid of Sunlight albums. But anyway, that's just me. But anyway, I make no secret of my love-hate relationship with Meridian. But anyway, I do like this purely because I think it's a nice object to hold. So it's a 3-tracker. You've got Sympathy from Holidays in Eden on the A side. Which I think is a cover of something, but I can't remember what. And then you got 2 live versions. You got Dry Land, but before then you got a live version of Kaylee with a Steve Hogarth vocal. And considering by the time they were doing stuff like Brave, they had dropped all the Fish era stuff from their set. It's quite interesting to hear Hogarth singing a Fish lyric. Not exactly a pleasant experience, but it's interesting. Yeah, not hideously collectible, this one. No doubt if you can find a couple of Marillion fans that haven't got it, that are bidding against each other, you could probably crank the price up to silly money. But, generally, according to Discogs, this goes for about 15 notes. So, yeah. Meridian, Sympathy from 1992. Okay, the next one is one of a few that aren't, you can probably pick up for under a tenner, but they still look very nice. We'll have this one next. Again, I'll whip it out of his house because there's nothing here on the sleeve to look at. Here we go. This is Highlord by the Claytown Troupe. There's the front. There's the back. Now, the Claytown Troupe were a band out of Bristol, my own town. Well, not where I was born, but where I've been living for the past 40 years. And, now, in Bristol, back in the mid to late 1980s, there was the area known as Redland was a big bedsit area. It was where all the students were. It was where all the hippie dropouts lived. All these massive, great big Victorian houses, and some of which are now been converted back into full residences, like the one I used to live up in Fernbank Road. But they were all kind of student flats and bedsits, and it became an area that kind of where a lot of the Bristol music scene came from. And to the extent that, we had a magazine in Bristol at the time called Venue, which was our local arts and listenings magazine, long since demised. But, used to term the name Redland Sound or the Redland Bands. And basically, it did have a sound. It was kind of bands that were kind of grunge punk, maybe, before. This is kind of a couple of years before Nirvana broke. So it's kind of grungy punk, with a kind of acid rock influence, kind of lots of bands covered Hawkwind in a punk kind of vein, and I was in a few bands around about that period, Beowulf UK, A Virgin Therapy, other acts that were off that scene were, well, let's have a look, Myriad Life Form, the Iffy Geranium, the Ron Squad, Herb Garden. And that's like there were 2 bands that kind of, the Heads, the Sears, some of which got fairly successful, but the ones that kind of got the big record deal and the band off that scene that kind of started to go places were Claytown Troupe. Got signed to Island Records, did a couple of albums. Still kept in touch with their local roots though, and I'll still say hello when you saw them in the street. Nice enough fellas. But anyway, this single, Highlord, was off their first album, and I can't remember what their album was called because I haven't got the albums. But anyway, it's an extended remix. Goes on for about 7 minutes. It's kind of, if you like, kind of like a slightly psychedelic cult, then not the cult, you know, that lot. It'll be right up your street. And actually, if I remember rightly, these guys actually toured with the cult at one point, and I think the drummer ended up joining them when the cult drummer went to join Guns N' Roses. Their drummer joined the cult. But anyway, it's pretty sweet. It's not earth-shattering. It's a good dancey track. The B-side's an extended mix of This Night Is Ours, which in my opinion is probably the better song. But hey, that's just me. And yeah, an interesting kind of relic from my past. Saw Claytown Troupe live a few times. So, no, I never actually got around to playing with them on the same bill. But yeah, but anyway. Yeah, so I'll show you the back again with a little dancing man. There we are. And not hideously rare, this one. Well, it's rare, but it's not hideously collectible because Claytown Troupe being a kind of quite an obscure band these days. You can pick this up for under a tenner. So yeah, Highlord, Claytown Troupe. And another one that goes for even less than that. This one goes for about a £5. It's Better by the Screaming Jets. There's the front. There's the back of the sleevey thing. Whip this out. There's the disc itself. There's the front. There's the back. Now, Screaming Jets, Australian band, quite big down under. Had a kind of moment in the sun, over in Europe, around about 1990, 91. They came out, came over here. I think they had a couple of minor hits. I don't think this was one. I think it was Blue Sashes. Kind of dented the bottom end of the UK charts. Infamously had a track called what was it, RFC, or was it FRC? Basically, it means Fat Rich Ladies Front Bottom, which was their closer. Great anthem. And I just realised, looking at the back, it's got tour dates, and it said Sunday, the 21st September 1991, Bristol Beer Keller. I was there. Yeah. And anyway, great band. Like many Aussie bands of that period and to this day, it's got that slight Aussie swing boogie to it. I don't know what it is about Australian band, but you know, they've got a swing to them. But it's like stamping like a stick of rock with Australia stamped right through the middle of them. And yeah, it's a pretty good record. Not their best track, but quite enjoyable. B-sides, live versions of Needle, and my favourite track by them, Blue Sashes. Cool stuff indeed. Yeah, so this one, like I said, you can pick this one up for under a £5. So if you want to start collecting picture discs, go for it. Now, talking about picture discs, one of the things I will mention that does annoy me is when people turn them into clocks. You know, they get kind of one of these little plastic silicon quartz things and stick it through there. I had a friend of mine had a clock on his wall, and it was the Quartz Steal the Light album. Yeah, on picture disc, worth a lot of money these days, and he's turned it into a clock and it's been ruined. Annoys me. Anyway, another album, another 12-inch that's not hideously collectible, and you can pick this one up for under a £5 as well. Another Aussie band, Johnny Diesel and the Injectors, and this is Soul Revival. Again, another Aussie band, bit of Aussie boogie about them. There's the front, there's the back. Although these guys, whereas the Screaming Jets had a bit of the old AC/DC Roaster 2 about them, these are kind of more kind of like a cross between like maybe John Farnham and George Thorogood. Yeah, kind of more kind of bluesy, slick rock, but all pretty good stuff. You got the main track, Soul Revival, which I can't tell you what album it's from, but might just be their eponymous debut. But then you got some live cuts on here, cuts called Burn, Rat Pack, and Parisian Hotel. All pretty sweet stuff. Like I said, George Thorogood, you like, you know, kind of heavy rock and roll, and pretty sweet. Don't know that much else about this band. I have a few singles and that's it. Information in the comments if you want to pass it on. But yeah, Johnny D's and the Injectors, Soul Revival. Again, you can pick this one up for under £5. Considering I paid about 99p for it, I'm still in profit. Okay, next up, a band that I'm not a huge fan of, and I make no bones about it. But I do have a smattering of their stuff. And here we go. This is Kiss, Reasons to Live, 12-inch picture disc. I'm not a big Kiss fan. They just don't speak to me. They've done a few good songs that I like. Sadly, this isn't one of them. If I remember rightly, and I haven't played this one for years, this is a bit of a power ballad. And to me, Kiss and power ballads are two things that two words you shouldn't really say in the same sentence. And before anyone says Beth, I'll say, if you do say Beth, I'll say exactly. Okay, but you know, it's not even that much of an inspiring picture. It's just kind of like the single cover chucked onto a picture, sort of minimum effort here. But I think I paid 99p for this, so years ago, so just got it for the hell of it. 4 tracks: Reason to Live, Thief in the Night, Who Wants to Be Lonely, and Secretly Cruel. Can't tell you what albums they're off. I want to say Animalised for the A-side. For the Reason to Live, I don't know. Like I said, I'm not a big Kiss fan, and my Kiss knowledge and information is spartan. But if you like Kiss, fair enough. Apparently this sells better in the States than it does in Britain. In Britain, where Kiss are kind of cult underground, you know, again, not much more than 10, 12 quid. Although in the States, apparently the Americans like importing these because Kiss are huge over there and people like to collect their stuff. So, yeah, I can't give you an exact value on this one. And but anyway, it's just Kiss, Reason to Live, 12-inch picture disc. Make of it what you will. Okay, next up, another one that's kind of not hideously collectible, but again, I've got personal reasons for loving this. And yeah, this is Onslaught, For Those About to Rock. Oh, sorry, Let There Be Rock. The original version with Cy Keeler on vocals, Music for Nations Records, Under One Flag Records, sorry. There's the front. There's the back. With that particular Onslaught, was it Jimmy Indler, Rob Trotman, Nige Rocket, Cy Keeler, Steve Bryce, there. Yeah. Now, last thing that Cy Keeler ever recorded with Onslaught, recorded with Onslaught before he left. He later rejoined, but yeah. Apparently Onslaught, a band out of Bristol, thrash metal band, just caught the right wave at the right time, and being a damn fine band. I mean, got to know Onslaught quite well back in this period. Band I was in at the time, Covenant, we were we shared a rehearsal space with Onslaught, the Foxhole Rooms up in Syston Common, just outside Bristol, and you know, we supported them a couple of times. We went drinking with them lots of times. Just really, really not, yeah, pleasant guys. Not bit of a cutthroat band to be in, but you know, they were very driven, and so I wouldn't want to actually be an Onslaught, but you know, nice guys to hang around with. And they played at the Hammersmith Odeon, along with was it Agent Steele and someone else, with Onslaught headlining their biggest gig to date. And as part of their encores and celebration, they did a thrash metal version of Let There Be Rock. It went down such a storm that they came back and they went out and recorded it. I think this actually might be a live recording on here. It doesn't say, but I think it is. Again, correct me if I'm wrong. My mind, I haven't played this single for a long time. And yeah, but anyway, this ended up hitting the charts. And you know, kind of only peaked at a number 40 odd, but you know, it was a hit single. And it says on the back here, interestingly, coming soon, Blood on the Ice double album. That Blood on the Ice double album never appeared. No, never appeared. Not long after this came out, Psychela, and basically they got signed to London Records. They didn't like Psychela's voice, and they wanted someone a bit more acceptable. Now, Psychela, a unique voice, an absolutely incredible voice, but they replaced him with Steve Grimmett from Grim Reaper. Again, someone else that's a really good singer, nice guy, but he's not Onslaught. Did the rather disappointing In Search of Sanity album, which didn't, because they lost one of their main attractions, Keeler. It didn't really take off. But so they got dropped. The band broke up, reformed about 10 years later with Cy back on vocals, and it's going strong to this day. Although I don't think Cy's with them anymore. But anyway, yeah. Again, price rise around about 20 quid. This. There is a later version, later studio version with Steve Grimmett vocal. I don't know if I had a picture disc issue, but anyway. But this is sweet, and it's a memory. Yeah, Onslaught, Let There Be Rock. When was this? Oh, it doesn't say. But around about 1988, I think this one was. Great stuff. Okay, next up. 3 more to go. No, we'll have that one last. Okay, next up, I'm going to show you this one. Although it's a singer, I have a great deal of time, a great lot of time for, and you know, it's topical because the guy went to the great gig in the Sky recently. I'm showing this one mainly for the artwork, not the tune, because the tune's a bit yeah. But it's Meatloaf, Running for the Red Light. There we are, $1.99 on paper. This still got the sticker on. 1996. This is a later one. Anyway, there's the back of the cardboard sleeve, and here's the disc itself. There's the front. I shall whip it out of the bag. There's the front. There's the back. I say I absolutely love the artwork on this. If I was that way inclined, this may well. I could actually see this on as a wall clock, but I'm not going to because it's a waste of a good record. Yeah. Taken from the album Waking Up the Neighbourhood, which, although it's not a bad album, it's Meatloaf without Jim Steinman, and you know, Meatloaf without Jim Steinman is lacking. It can be interesting, but it doesn't have any fire really. And it's not like Jim Steinman without Meatloaf. Again, not really there. You need the two elements to make the whole. And The actual track, Running for the Red Light, I Got a Life. Not really a great song. It's cool, it's okay, but it's not kind of got that kind of Meatloaf, wow, that was spectacular on it. However, as always, we have some live versions, and live versions of All Revved Up with No Place to Go, Midnight, The Lost and Found, Dead Ringer for Love, just to remind us what Meat was actually capable of. Yeah. Now, price-wise, I don't know on this. So I paid $1.99 for it when it came out. And this was knocking around at about 15 quid. However, last week Meatloaf went to the Great Gig in the Sky. And there is the old, when it comes to record collecting, any record collector will tell you, there's the dead musician effect, when all of a sudden his stuff gets back into interest. I mean, 3 or 4 of his albums are back in the UK charts again. And, people start, I've got to collect Meatloaf. So, it happened with Queen, which I'll come to in a minute. I started collecting Queen stuff, and then all of a sudden Freddie Mercury died, and the prices went through the roof. So what this is going for these days, I do not know. If you do know how much these are changing hands for, again, put answer in the comments. But yeah, Meatloaf, Running the Red Light. I love the Artifact to Hold. Not his best song, but but look, well, there's something else I should say with playing. You can play, all these are playable, and all these are in pretty good nick, but I'm not sure exactly why, but picture discs, the iron that it's pressed on tends to be a wee bit softer than the vinyl that normal records or coloured vinyls are pressed on. So it can wear out quicker and scratch easier. So if you're going to collect picture discs, play them by all means, but just be a bit more careful with them when you handle and you play. Okay, next up we'll go to Scotland. Here we go. Gun, Welcome to the Real World, 12-inch. Here's the B-side. Whip this out. There's the disc itself. Again, a lovely artifact. Taken from the album. Now it says here, taken from the album Gallus. But Welcome to the Real World was the title of Gun's first album, and it has the lineup with Baby Stafford on it, and Baby Stafford left before the Gallus album. So this has always left me a bit confused as to what the what this is about. But anyway, but there again, it also contains a live version of Steal Your Fire, which was the lead single off the Gallus album. The plot deepens. Do you know the mystery of what exactly this is? So, oh no, it is. Sorry, I'm getting mixed up. It's Taken on the World was the first album, so this is from the Gallus album. Oh, brain fade. I should go back and re-record that entire section, but I can't be asked. But anyway, yeah, sorry about that. That's the way my brain works. You've seen the insight into the working of the Rock Druid's brain. Okay, yeah, that's right, I'm there. But I don't understand why it's got the Baby Stafford line up on it. But anyway, Gun, great Scottish band, came out as part of that kind of, there was a thing called the jock rock movement. The biggest bands off there were Gun and Texas. Although a few others knocking around like Slide were doing some really good stuff as well. Fat Man Swing, no, they were Irish. But anyway, a few other bands off that scene that promised much. Texas became the biggest band, but they did it by selling out and losing all their rock and blues sentiment and becoming a shitty pop band. And I make no apologies for saying that. Gun, well, they had about 3 good albums in them, but then kind of petered out still get together occasionally for some stuff. And they're not too bad, but never quite fulfilled their potential. And now I love Gum. Saw them live a couple of times back in the day, and always impressed. This Welcome to the Real World, bit of a kind of slow, not exactly a ballad, but it's a slow rocker, quite a deep introversial track. B-side, Standing in Your Shadows, a bit of a rock and roller, and Steal Your Fight as an out and out barnstormer of a track. And the live version on here is absolutely brilliant. Where did it say it was recorded? No, it was. It was part of a BBC Friday Rock Show session. So yeah, so it's live in the studio, effectively with Tony Wilson producing. But yeah, cracking record. Check Gun out. Collector's value wise, this one comes in 10 to 15 quid. If you want to buy it, various outlets. So again, this depends on the condition, but 10 to 15 quid if you want to add it to your collection. Not this particular copy, because like I said, none of these are actually for sale, but I know though, if you start looking at, folks like record fairs are a good place to pick these things up these days, for a reasonable cost. If I can get this back in its house. We'll move on to our final one of this week's dozen. And here we go. Queen Innuendo. There we go, there's the front. Now this one has actually got the actual Queen logo is actually embossed on the vinyl of the outer sleeve. So there's the back of the card. There's the disc, there's the front. Again, great artwork. There's the B-side. Now, Innuendo, Queen's last album with Freddie. Recorded when the guy was very ill, dying sadly of HIV and AIDS, but managed to get the Innuendo album out, and the Innuendo album is corking. I am a big Queen fan, and I don't like everything they've done, but I like majority of it. I said, Innuendo's a great album. This is the title track. It's an epic cut. It's about 8.5 minutes long. Guest appearance from Steve Howe of Yes on acoustic guitar. Sort of like it's a kind of Bohemian Rhapsody style mini rock opera. Great stuff indeed. Extra tracks on here, you got Bijou, which is another track off the Innuendo album, and then Under Pressure, the duet with Queen and David Bowie. This was the lead single off the album, Innuendo. It says here, taken off the forthcoming album. It came out before the album came out, and Freddie Mercury died not long after the album got released. A few weeks after this album came out. I think there was the Going Slightly Mad single. Was the last Freddie Mercury thing to come out. But anyway, I picked this up. Again, it was like, walked in, I wanted to get the new Queen 12-inch, because I heard it on the radio. I thought, yeah. Went in, again, it was Disc and Tape Records at Gloucester Road in Bristol. Mate, rest in peace. Went in, and he said, I've got the picture disc here. Okay, I'll have that then. Again, I paid going rate for it, $1.99, something like that. Then within a few weeks, I thought, yeah, I'll tell you what, I'm going to start collecting Queen. I'm going to get the back albums, try and pick up some rarities and that. And at the time, Queen stuff was quite reasonably priced. Freddie died, the prices went through the roof, and my ambition to start collecting Queen was scuppered. I think I went on the Wishbone Ash instead. But anyway, Still love this album. I got the album, still love this single. I don't play this very often because this is another one that's silly money. This is another one that's 50 odd quid plus. You know, should you want to purchase a copy now, again, you might be able to get it cheaper through record fairs and that, but you know, it's going upwards of 50 quid. Not that this is for sale. So yeah, the last one today, Innuendo by Queen, 1981. Storming track. Really, really love the artwork and an interesting artifact. So that's the end of this week's dozen. Hope you enjoyed our 12-inch picture discs kind of thing. Have you got any interesting picture discs? If so, let me know in the comments down there. Over there, do the finger dance. Again, radio show information down there, over there, depending on whether you're on YouTube or Facebook. Finger dance. My missus loves the finger dance. If I don't do it, she complains. Anyway, next week I'll be back with another one. Still I'm annoying what to do. A couple of people suggested, I've got loads and loads of 12-inch promo discs, not 12-inch promo discs, picture CD promo singles, which are kind of, you know, never officially released to the public, so they're going to be stuff that very few people other than us DJs have ever seen. Yeah, I will come back to picture discs again because I've got a fair number more, at least enough for another episode of picture discs. Got a load of 7-inch picture discs to show, 7-inch singles. Could even go back to albums. If you have an opinion, please stress in the comments. And but until next week, other than that, I'll just kind of see where the mood takes me. So until next week, Beats, keep collecting, keep rocking and rolling, and I'm out of here. Bye.